Most CEOs eat breakfast in silence. Jacob Reed was about to change someone's life before finishing his coffee. Emily's hands shake as she carries the tray. Her eyes dart towards Brian. He blocks her path near the kitchen door. "Do you even have a brain, Emily?" The room freezes. A spoon drops onto a plate somewhere. Emily's lips tremble. She turns away, blinking back tears. She pushes into the kitchen. The tray hits the counter with a dull thud. Her shoulders quake. A sob slips out. Across the diner, Jacob watches. He sets down his fork and knife. His jaw clenches. His gaze hardens. No report ever showed him this. And in the next 30 minutes, everything will change. Jacob sits in his car. The sun rises behind the diner sign. He watches the early customers walk in. His reflection stares back at him in the rearview mirror. Silver hair, tired eyes, a sharp suit, but under it a man who remembers where he started. He takes a slow breath. "I built this place from nothing," he whispers. "I trusted my managers, but reports only show numbers. They don't show fear in a waitress's eyes." He opens the door. The cold morning air hits his face. He feels it wake him up. "I need to see the truth for myself." He straightens his jacket and walks toward the entrance. Each step feels heavy, but his mind is clear. Inside, Emily wipes her tears. Brian stands tall, barking new orders. Jacob pushes open the door. Today he isn't here as a CEO. He's here as a witness. Jacob steps inside. The smell of burnt coffee hits him. The floor feels sticky under his shoes. His eyes scan the room. For a moment he sees his younger self. He was 20 then, 12-hour shifts, minimum wage, carrying heavy trays until his wrists ached. He remembers his old manager's voice. "Move faster, kid. Customers don't care if your feet hurt." He remembers eating leftover fries in the break room, washing dishes with cold water, walking home at midnight with empty pockets but a tired smile. His chest tightens. He never forgot those days. They taught him respect. They taught him that every worker has a story. He watches Emily wipe her eyes again. They deserve better, he thinks, and I won't let anyone forget that. He walks to the counter. Brian turns to glare at Emily. Jacob feels anger rise in his chest. Emily stands by the coffee machine. Her hands grip the counter. Her shoulders shake softly. In her pocket, her phone screen lights up. A photo of a little girl with curly brown hair. 4 years old, wearing a pink jacket, smiling wide with missing front teeth. Emily looks at it for a second longer. Her eyes soften. A tear lands on the screen. She wipes it quickly. She can't afford to cry. Not now. She works 2 jobs. This diner in the morning, a gas station at night. 4 hours of sleep if she's lucky. Rent is late again. Groceries run out by Thursday. Her daughter asks, "Mommy, why do you work so much?" Emily always answers the same. "So you can sleep safe, baby." Behind her, Brian's voice booms. Emily, table 5, is waiting. "Move faster." She flinches. Her thumb presses the phone screen off. She takes a deep breath and turns around. Daniel flips pancakes on the grill. Hot oil spits onto his forearm. He winces but keeps moving. He's only 19. He started here last year, washing dishes, cleaning floors, carrying boxes twice his weight. He dreams of wearing a white chef's jacket someday, running his own kitchen, creating dishes that make people smile. Brian shouts from the counter, "Daniel, these eggs are burnt. Are you blind?" Daniel nods quickly. "Sorry, sir. I'll make them again." His hands move faster. His breath stays calm. A small smile tugs at his lips. He knows he isn't perfect yet, but every burned egg teaches him something. Every harsh word makes him stronger. He flips the pancakes onto a plate, adds butter and syrup, wipes the edge clean. In his mind, he sees his future. One day people will call him Chef Miller, but today he is just Daniel, and that's enough to keep him going. Brian stands by the cash register. His arms cross over his chest. His eyes scan the diner like a hawk. A customer raises a hand. "Excuse me, sir, this coffee is cold." Brian doesn't smile. He doesn't apologize. Instead, he turns his head sharply towards Emily. "Emily, why is table 4's coffee cold?" "Did you not check it before serving?" Emily rushes over. "I'm sorry, I'll fix it right away." Brian shakes his head. "You're useless, always slowing everyone down." He looks over at Daniel, who is scrubbing the grill. "Daniel, those plates aren't clean enough." Do it again. Daniel glances up, sweat dripping from his forehead. Yes, sir. Brian smirks. He loves the power. The fear in their eyes makes him feel important. In his mind, he runs this place. He thinks without him nothing would work. But today someone is watching, and Brian has no idea what's coming next. Brian checks the roster taped to the fridge. His eyes narrow at the scribbled names and shifts. He calls out, voice sharp. Emily, you're staying for the evening shift. Emily blinks confusion on her face. But I have to pick up my daughter at daycare by 5. Brian's lips curl into a thin smile. Not my problem. You want this job, don't you? She swallows hard. I can't. Please. I've already worked 6 hours. I have my other job tonight. Brian leans in closer. His breath smells of stale coffee. Then don't come back tomorrow. I need people who can actually work. Emily's eyes sting. She nods slowly, holding back tears. Jacob watches from table 6. His hand curls into a fist under the tablecloth. Brian turns away, smirking at his own cruelty. But he doesn't notice Jacob's eyes locked on him, and he has no idea what those eyes will do next. A man at table 2 raises his hand. His fork taps the plate in frustration. Excuse me, we've been waiting 30 minutes for our breakfast. Brian forces a thin smile. I'll check on it. He storms into the kitchen. Daniel stands by the grill, flipping bacon. Steam rises around him, making his hair stick to his forehead. Brian's voice cuts through the noise. What the hell is taking so long? Are you sleeping back here? Daniel looks up, eyes wide. Sorry, sir. The fryer stopped working. I'm doing everything by hand. Brian steps closer. I don't care. Customers are waiting. Move faster. Daniel nods quickly. His hands tremble as he grabs a hot pan. The handle burns his palm, but he doesn't let go. Grease sizzles. Bacon curls under the heat. A bead of sweat rolls down his cheek and lands on the grill. Behind him, Brian scoffs. Pathetic. Jacob watches from his table. His chest tightens at the sight. Emily carries 2 glasses of water to table 3. Her hands shake from exhaustion. Her grip slips. One glass tips over. Water splashes across the table. It drips onto a woman's purse and soaks the napkins. Emily gasps. I'm so sorry. Let me clean that up. Brian is there in seconds. His voice booms across the diner. Look at this mess. Can you do anything right, Emily? Her face flushes red. She grabs paper towels, dabbing at the water with trembling fingers. Brian scoffs loud enough for everyone to hear. You're hopeless. I don't know why I keep you here. The woman at the table looks away, embarrassed for her. Other customers stare down at their plates. Emily blinks back tears. Her chest feels tight. Her vision blurs as she wipes the table clean. Jacob watches every second. His jaw clenches. His heart aches with anger and pity. He knows this has gone too far, and his silence won't last much longer. Jacob sits still at his table. He watches Emily rush back to the kitchen, eyes, red shoulders, slumped. He picks up his coffee cup but doesn't drink. His hand feels heavy. His chest tightens. Numbers never showed him this. Reports listed sales and waste costs. Graphs showed profit and loss. But no report ever showed him the fear in Emily's eyes, the burns on Daniel's hands, the smug smile on Brian's face. He takes a slow breath. This is why I came here, he thinks. This is why leaders need to see the truth themselves. He sets the cup down without tasting it. His eyes follow Brian as he barks new orders across the diner. The customers eat in silence, feeling the tension in the air. Jacob feels something shift inside him. He knows what he must do. And in the next 20 minutes, everything here will change. Daniel stacks plates by the sink. Dirty mugs and pans pile up around him. He wipes sweat from his brow and calls out, voice shaky. Brian the dishwasher stopped working again. Brian turns sharply. His eyes narrow. So wash them by hand. Daniel swallows. I've been doing that all morning. The sink is backing up. I can't keep up with orders. Brian steps closer. His voice drops low but sharp like a knife. Do I look like I care? Daniel looks down at his burned hands. Soap and grease cling under his fingernails. Hot water steams over his skin, turning it pink and raw. Brian scoffs. Maybe if you worked faster, we wouldn't have this problem. He walks away, shaking his head in disgust. Daniel bites his lip. He turns back to the sink, scrubbing harder, fighting the sting in his palms. Behind him, Jacob watches from the counter. His eyes darken with silent fury. An elderly man enters the diner. His steps are slow. He leans on a wooden cane with a rubber tip. He sits at table 7. His hands tremble as he reaches for the water glass. He looks around quietly and raises a hand. "Excuse me, young man. Could I see a menu, please?" Brian doesn't even look up from the counter. He waves his hand dismissively. "Menu's over there. Get it yourself." The old man blinks, confused. His eyes search for help. He pushes himself up with effort, walking towards the stand by the door. His cane taps against the tiled floor. Each step is heavy and unsteady. Emily sees him struggle. She starts to move forward to help, but Brian glares at her. She stops mid-step, swallowing her words. Jacob watches as the old man returns to his seat. He sits down slowly, breathing hard. His hands grip the menu knuckles, pale. The dignity drains from his tired eyes. Emily stands near the kitchen door. Her head feels light. Her legs ache from standing since dawn. She gathers her courage and walks up to Brian. Her voice is soft. "Brian, can I take 5 minutes to eat something? I haven't had a break all morning." Brian looks up slowly. A smirk spreads across his face. "Eat, you think you deserve to sit and eat." Emily blinks, stunned by his words. He leans closer, his voice dripping with mockery. "You're not here to rest. You're here to work. Get back to your tables." She feels the sting behind her eyes. Her stomach growls, empty since last night. Brian turns away, laughing under his breath. Some people just don't know their place. Emily clenches her apron in her fists. Her lips press into a thin line as she swallows her hunger. Jacob watches from his seat. His hand curls tight around his coffee cup, but he stays silent, for now. Jacob watches Emily refill water glasses. Her steps are slow. Her eyes stay on the floor. When she walks past his table, he speaks softly. "Are you okay, miss?" She pauses. Her shoulders stiffen for a moment. Then she forces a small smile. It doesn't reach her tired eyes. "I'm fine, sir. Thanks for asking." Jacob looks at her closer. Sweat clings to her hairline. Her lips are pale. Her hands tremble as she holds the pitcher. "You look exhausted," he says gently. Emily shrugs. Her smile fades into a flat line. "It's just work. I'm used to it." She turns to leave, but he stops her with his words. "No one should ever get used to this." Her eyes flicker with something unspoken. Hope, shame, pain. She nods quickly and walks away before tears spill. Jacob exhales slowly. His chest feels tight. He knows he can't stay silent much longer. Emily finishes wiping table 4. The couple leaves a $5 bill under the salt shaker. She picks it up carefully, hope lighting in her chest. That tip could buy milk for her daughter tonight. Brian stands behind her. His hand snaps out, taking the bill from her fingers. She blinks, startled. That was my table." Brian folds the bill and slips it into his pocket. "New policy. All tips go to management first. We decide if you've earned it." Emily's lips part in shock. Her eyes sting, but she doesn't argue. She just nods and turns away. Brian smirks, watching her walk back to the kitchen with her head down. Jacob sees everything from his booth. His jaw tightens. His pulse thuds heavy in his ears. A tip was meant for her kindness, her service, her sacrifice. He knows this is more than unfair. It's theft, and this will not stand for long. Daniel stands at the sink. Steam rises around him, fogging his glasses. His sleeves are rolled up to his elbows. He plunges his hands into the hot water. Plates clink against each other. The water is almost boiling. His skin turns red within seconds. Blisters form near his knuckles. He grits his teeth, fighting the urge to pull back. The dishwasher behind him sits silent, broken for weeks. Brian refused to call a repairman. Daniel scrubs harder. Grease slides off plates and flows down the drain. His fingertips burn with each scrape. He breathes in short, quiet gasps. The pain stings deep, but he keeps moving. In his mind, he counts every plate, every cup, every fork. Each one brings him closer to the end of his shift. He tells himself it's worth it. One day he will be more than a dishwasher. Behind him, Jacob sees his hands shake. Rage coils hot in Jacob's chest. A young couple waits at table 5. Their coffee cups sit empty. The man checks his watch. The woman sighs softly. She raises her hand. "Excuse me, sir. We've been waiting almost 40 minutes. Is our food coming soon?" Brian rolls his eyes. He leans against the counter, arms crossed. "It'll come when it comes. We're busy." The woman blinks at his tone. "We'll just take the check then." Brian shrugs. "Fine, but next time don't come during peak hours if you can't wait." The man shakes his head in disbelief. There won't be a next time. They stand up, leaving without eating. Their chairs scrape against the floor, loud in the tense silence. Emily watches them go, shame burning her cheeks. Daniel glances up from the sink, eyes sad. Jacob exhales slowly. Customers leaving, staff abused, dreams crushed. This diner was built to serve the community. Now it's breaking them instead. Jacob sits quietly at his table. His untouched coffee has gone cold. His fork rests beside his plate, the eggs untouched. He watches Emily wipe down tables with trembling hands. He sees Daniel scrubbing pans, red blisters on his skin. He hears Brian's harsh voice echo through the diner. Each word slices through the morning air like a knife. Jacob takes a slow breath. His chest rises and falls with a heavy weight. He looks down at his hands, strong and steady, hands that built this company from nothing, hands that fed his family, hands that once washed dishes just like Daniel. His jaw tightens. His eyes harden with resolve. He whispers to himself, voice low and firm, "That's enough." He pushes his chair back. The legs scrape against the tiled floor. The sound cuts through the diner's noise. Brian doesn't notice yet. Emily doesn't see him stand. But soon everyone will. Because in the next few minutes, everything is about to change. Jacob stands slowly. His chair slides back with a quiet scrape. The noise makes Emily glance up, confused. He takes a deep breath and reaches for his baseball cap. The brim is pulled low over his eyes. He lifts it off and runs a hand through his gray hair. Next, his fingers hook around the edge of his black mask. He pulls it down, revealing a lined face and strong jaw. His eyes are calm but sharp. Emily freezes. Recognition flickers in her tired eyes. Daniel looks up from the sink, his mouth falling open slightly. Brian doesn't notice. He's too busy scolding another waitress about dirty menus. Jacob sets his cap on the table. He folds the mask beside it. His movements are slow, deliberate, steady. He straightens his back and looks around the diner. Every employee who sees him stops mid-motion. Silence ripples through the kitchen and out to the floor. The room holds its breath, because they all know exactly who he is. Brian finally notices the silence spreading across the diner. He turns around confused by the sudden stillness. His eyes land on Jacob. Standing tall, mask off, cap off, calm but powerful. Brian frowns. "Who are you? You think you can just stand there and stare at me?" Jacob doesn't answer. He looks at Emily, then at Daniel. Their faces are filled with quiet hope and fear. Brian steps closer, waving a hand dismissively. "Sir, if you're not ordering anything else, you need to leave. We're busy." Jacob's eyes narrow slightly. He tilts his head, studying Brian's arrogant posture, his careless words, his smirk. Customers begin to whisper among themselves. The room hums with curiosity and confusion. Emily grips her apron tightly. Daniel holds his breath. The other waitresses stand frozen near the coffee machine. Jacob exhales slowly. His next words will change everything. But for now, he lets Brian hang in ignorance. Jacob reaches into his inner jacket pocket. His movements are calm and measured. Brian watches with impatience. "What are you doing? If you're paying, do it quickly. We don't have all day." Jacob says nothing. He pulls out a black leather card holder. Slowly, he flips it open. Inside sits a sleek metal card engraved with bold letters. Jacob Reed, Chief Executive Officer. He places the card gently on the counter between them. The metal clicks softly against the wood. Brian leans forward to read it. His eyes widen. His mouth opens slightly, but no sound comes out. Emily's hand flies to her lips. Daniel stares, eyes wide with shock. Silence fills the diner. Even the customers feel the shift in the air. Jacob looks at Brian with steady, unblinking eyes. "I built this place from nothing," he says quietly, "and I will not let you destroy it." Brian's face pales. Everything he thought he controlled, just slipped from his grasp. Brian's face drains of color. His hands twitch at his sides. For a moment he can't speak. Then his words spill out quick and desperate. "Mr. Reed, I didn't know you were coming today." If I'd known. Jacob raises a hand to silence him. His eyes stay locked on Brian's trembling face. Brian swallows hard. Sweat beads at his hairline. "Please, sir, I was just trying to keep things under control. You know how lazy these workers can be." Emily flinches at his words. Daniel clenches his fists under the sink. Brian's voice cracks. "Please don't fire me. I've worked here for years. I know everything about this place. I can change." Jacob exhales slowly. His gaze is steady, cold, unblinking. He sees fear, then shame, then desperation. The layers peel away with each shaky breath Brian takes. But Jacob feels no pity, because respect is earned, and today, Brian has none left to give. Jacob looks at Brian for a long moment. The diner is silent. Even the coffee machine hum seems louder than their voices. He leans forward slightly. His voice is calm but sharp enough to cut glass. "Tell me, Brian," he says, "do you think employees working in fear is good for business?" Brian blinks rapidly. His mouth opens, then closes. Words stumble out. I just wanted them to respect me." Jacob's gaze stays steady. "Respect?" He tilts his head, studying Brian like a teacher waiting for an honest answer. "Is that what you call this, making them scared to breathe around you? Making a young man wash dishes in boiling water? Making a mother cry while she serves tables?" Brian's lips tremble. They need discipline. Jacob exhales slowly, his eyes narrow, cold and disappointed. "No, Brian. They need a leader." He straightens up, his words hang heavy in the quiet room. And everyone knows. The next thing he says will change everything. Jacob takes a deep breath. His eyes stay locked on Brian. "Pack your things," he says quietly. Brian blinks. "Sir." What Jacob's voice is calm but unbreakable. "You're done here." Brian's mouth falls open. His hands shake as he stammers. "Please, Mr. Reed, don't do this. I need this job. I can change. I promise." Jacob doesn't move. His gaze remains steady, cutting through every excuse. "You had years to change." Brian looks around. Customers stare silently. Emily covers her mouth with her hand. Daniel stands frozen by the sink water dripping from his gloves. Jacob's words echo in the still air. "You will not treat my people this way. Not in my company. Not ever again." Brian's shoulders slump. Defeat drains the color from his face. He nods slowly, eyes lowered to the ground. Jacob steps back. The room stays quiet. But inside every heart something rises. Hope, relief, pride. And this is just the beginning. Jacob turns his eyes towards the kitchen. Daniel stands, frozen soap suds dripping from his burned hands. His eyes are wide with confusion and fear. Jacob gives him a small nod. "Daniel," he calls softly. Daniel swallows hard. "Yes, sir." Jacob steps closer. His voice is warm, clear, unshaken. "How long have you worked here?" Daniel blinks. "Almost a year, sir." Jacob nods again. "And in that time, how many times have you called out sick?" Daniel shakes his head quickly. "Never." A small smile flickers on Jacob's lips. "Good, because starting today, you're the new shift manager." Daniel's mouth falls open. His eyes shine with shock, then with something deeper. Pride, relief, hope. Emily gasps softly behind him. The other staff stare in quiet amazement. Jacob rests a hand on Daniel's shoulder. "I trust you to take care of them. Better than he ever did." Daniel nods, voice trembling. "Yes, sir, I will. I promise." Jacob turns to face the entire staff. His eyes sweep across their tired, hopeful faces. He takes a deep breath. "Listen to me," he says firmly. "Starting today, things will change." Emily wipes a tear from her cheek. Daniel stands tall beside her chest, lifted with new confidence. Jacob continues, his voice strong. "The dishwasher will be repaired by tomorrow morning. No more burned hands." A small gasp escapes from Daniel's lips. His shoulders relax. Jacob scans the kitchen. "We will hire 3 new staff this week. No more 16-hour shifts. Everyone deserves to go home to their families." Emily covers her mouth, eyes wet with relief. And Jacob says, pausing for a moment, letting the silence build, Your pay will increase by 15%. Effective immediately. The room goes still. Then a soft cry breaks from the back. Smiles spread across weary faces. Jacob looks around, feeling the pride rise in his chest. He didn't just fire a bad manager today. He gave them their dignity back. Emily stands near the back door, her apron still tied tight around her waist. Her hands tremble as she pulls out her phone. She dials quickly, pressing it to her ear. Her voice comes out in a whisper. "Mom." There's a pause, then a warm voice answers on the other end. "Emily, is everything okay?" Tears fill her eyes. She tries to speak clearly, but her voice shakes. "Mom, I got a raise today. 15%. There's silence, then her mother's quiet gasp. "Oh, honey, that's wonderful." Emily wipes her cheek with the back of her hand. A small smile breaks across her lips. "Yeah, it means I can buy Sophia those new shoes for school. And maybe I can come home early this week." Her mother's voice softens with relief. "I'm so proud of you." Emily nods, even though her mom can't see. "Thanks, Mom." She hangs up and takes a deep breath. For the first time in months, her chest feels light. Daniel stands near the grill, a fresh white apron tied around his waist. His hair is combed neatly. His eyes shine with quiet pride. Beside him stands a teenage boy, nervous and fidgeting with his sleeves. Daniel places a gentle hand on his shoulder. "Don't worry," he says with a warm smile. "First days are always scary. I burned 6 pancakes on my first morning here." The boy laughs softly, his shoulders relaxing. Daniel shows him how to flip bacon without burning the edges, how to plate scrambled eggs so they look full and bright. "Always clean as you go," Daniel says, wiping down the counter with quick, confident strokes. "It keeps your mind clear." The boy nods eagerly, watching every move. Emily walks past, carrying coffee to table 4. She catches Daniel's eye and smiles. He grins back a real wide smile that lights up his entire face. For the first time, Daniel feels like more than a dishwasher. Today, he feels like a leader. Jacob stands near the door, watching the diner come alive again. Emily laughs softly as she pours fresh coffee. Daniel teaches the new boy how to stack plates without chipping them. Customers chat in low, happy voices. The smell of bacon and fresh toast fills the air. Jacob takes a slow breath. His chest feels light for the first time that morning. His voice comes quiet, steady, strong. "I don't need managers who make people afraid." He watches Daniel smile as he corrects the boy's grip on a spatula. "I need leaders who make people feel happy." Jacob turns towards the window. Sunlight spills across the tables, warming the clean, polished surfaces. His eyes soften as he looks out at the street, busy with morning traffic and people heading to work. This is only the beginning, he thinks. There's so much more to fix. He reaches for the door handle. The bell above jingles as he steps outside. Jacob walks down the sidewalk. Morning light warms his face. He slips his hands into his pockets, feeling the cool breeze brush past him. Behind him, the diner hums with quiet energy. Inside, people work with lighter hearts. Smiles come easier. Voices sound softer. Hope returns to the small corner of their world. Jacob lifts his gaze to the sky. His eyes hold a calm certainty. He knows his work isn't done. There are more places to visit, more lives to lift up. He breathes in deeply and exhales with quiet strength. If this story moved something inside you, if it made you believe kindness can still change the world, then share this story. Because somewhere out there, another Emily is crying in a kitchen. Another Daniel is burning his hands in silence. And maybe, just maybe, someone like Jacob will watch this and realize it's time to stand up.